In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a virtual network using only your home computer. So this is the scenario. Here's the internet. Here's my, let's say, home wireless router. And in my situation, the home wireless router on the internal network is 192.168.2.1. Okay, so this is my gateway right now at home, 2.1. Okay, and then the computer that I'm working on right now is a laptop, and it is identified by this dark gray square indicating a computer and a keyboard. And this laptop that I'm at has, let's say, an IP address of 192.168.2.100. Okay, so this is my local area network or home network. 2.1 is the gateway and 2.100 is the home computer. What we're going to do is we're going to set up two virtual machines using VMware Player, and it's going to create an internal virtual network. Now, the first virtual machine we're going to need to create is going to be an Endian firewall that we're going to install into a VM or virtual machine. Now, this Endian firewall will need two NICs or two network cards. It's going to need one NIC that will receive an IP address just like my host computer or my laptop here, and it will hopefully receive an IP address like this, 192.168.2.101. So my computer is 2.100, and then the virtual machine will pick up an IP address like 2.101. So that'll be the LAN or the WAN NIC on the firewall. So this will be the outward facing NIC on the firewall router. Then on the second NIC, it'll have a private address. In the case of the Endian firewall, the default is 192.168.0.15, and that will be right here on this interface. So our router firewall will need two network cards or two NICs. Then we're going to create a second virtual machine, which we're going to use as a client virtual machine. Now, this virtual machine could be, let's say, an XP Pro machine, it could be a Windows 7 machine, or it could be a Linux machine, but it's going to pick up an IP address. Instead of picking up an IP address from our router gateway right here, it's going to pick up its IP address from the Endian firewall. So this virtual machine will have to go through the Endian firewall virtual machine to get out to the internet. And voila, you have a virtual network. Okay, so you have two VMs. One is a router firewall and the other one is a client behind that router firewall. That's why I've drawn this yellow circle here to signify a virtual private network within my computer. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to set up. Now, to do this, we're going to need two things. We're going to need, first of all, to download the VMware Player from VMware.com. So this is the VMware.com website. What you're going to want to do is go to, let's say, support and downloads, and then you'll go to all downloads, and you might need to create an account here at VMware, but the program that you're looking for is the VMware Player. So let's see if we can identify it here. There it is, VMware Player. So if you go here, you can download it. The current version is VMware Player 5. So there's a download button here. So that's what you're going to want. And then the next thing you're going to want to download is the image file for the Endian firewall router. Now you're going to go to endian.com, okay, and that's E-N-D-I-A-N. Here's their website. And then once you're at their website, you can go over to the community and then the download. And this is the community version of their software that's free to download. So you can see here, Endian Community, download now, and you'll click here. And you can download EFW, Endian Firewall 2.5.1, and it is an ISO image. So you're going to want to download that to your, let's say, your computer. So I've done both of those things. I've installed VMware Player 5, and I've downloaded the Endian ISO file, the image. And you can see here that I have both things. Let's see here. Here is my EFW Community 2.5.1 on my desktop. And I also have my VMware Player. I've got a few VMs that I've already created, but we're going to create one just for this Endian firewall. So let's do that now. Okay, so let's create this new virtual machine. So what we'll do is we'll select create a new virtual machine, and then we have a choice. Either install directly from the DVD drive, install directly from the ISO file, which we have here on our desktop, or build the virtual machine first and then install the operating system later. And that's what I'm going to do. So I've got the last bullet point check marked here, and I'm going to hit next, and then this is going to be a version of Linux, and we'll choose other 2.6 kernel, and we'll hit next. All right, and we'll give it a name. I'm going to say Endian firewall. All right, then we'll hit next, and then the size of the hard disk. I'm going to change the size of the hard disk to 4 gigabytes. All right, and store the virtual disk as a single file or multiple files. I'll just store it as multiple files, accept the default. Hit next, and I'm also going to check mark or click on, in fact, the customize hardware button here. So we'll customize our hardware, and we'll say for memory we'll use, let's say, 512 megabytes for memory, and then for our CD drive we're going to boot to our ISO image file. So I'll just browse for that. It's on our desktop, and we'll select that. Okay, so we're going to use this ISO image file to boot from, and then we need to select and create another network card. You can see right now that our network card right now is set to NAT. I'm going to change it to a bridged connection so it picks up an IP address just like my laptop is picking up an IP address. Okay, and if we want, we can configure the adapters. Select the host network adapter you want to automatically bridge. Since I'm running my wireless card right now, I'm going to need to pick the Intel Centrino Advanced AGN. That's wireless A, wireless G, and wireless N. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I'll select that and click OK. And let's see here. Perfect. What we're also going to need to do is create our second NIC. So I'm going to add. All right, and what are we going to add? We're adding a second NIC. So network adapter, hit next, and this network adapter is going to be host only, a private network shared with the host. So I'll choose that, and I'll hit finish, and so now we have our second network adapter. Now I'm going to change that from host only, a private network shared with the host, to a LAN segment, and we will click on LAN segments, and we'll need to create a VLAN for our LAN segments. So I'm going to add one. I'm going to say add Endian network. All right, and click OK. So we'll say LAN segment Endian network. So this is going to be a private LAN segment called Endian network, and that is what it's going to, what this network adapter, this second network adapter is going to be on. It's almost like a VLAN that it's going to be on. All right, click advanced. You can see here you've got some other choices, but I'm okay. That's all I need to do. So the first network adapter, bridged, right? The second network adapter, a LAN segment. Perfect. Now for display, all right, we're good. I think this is good. I think we have everything we need. Also, what I'm going to do is I want to see if I can add a secondary hard drive. Let's see if we can do that. I'll click add, and we'll see if we can add another hard drive. And you can see that with the VMware player, it looks like I'm, at least not from this menu, I'm not able to add a secondary hard drive. Well, that's okay, so we'll just accept it the way it is, and we'll hit cancel. All right, and I'll hit close. All right, and I'll hit finish. Okay, so there it is. There's our Endian firewall, and we're ready to go. All we have to do now is highlight it and then click the play button, and we'll see if the operating system boots up, and we'll go through the installation procedure. All right. You can see right away it sees Linux, ISO Linux. This is the Endian firewall. Welcome to Endian firewall. So this is perfect. Now all we need to do is basically run through the installation procedure and install the Endian firewall.